So good morning again, everyone. Legit, I have not done anything chart related. I just opened MT4. Doing this because someone asked about my routine.
Expensive or I'm calling the same one.
Let me mute before we get any
89
calls
is
that we
very
don't
low.
want. So this is what my morning looks like when I start trading. So this is the first thing I'm doing when I open my chart. If I already have a clear idea of where the daily chart is trying to reach for, then I have no reason to look for the daily chart. If I don't, then I start my analysis on a daily chart. So since I haven't looked at the chart since maybe yesterday afternoon, no, sorry, wrong chart. Then I'll need to kind of look at the daily chart just to see where we are, get an understanding of what's happening here. So the XY daily finally looks like it wants to give up, but I'm no longer interested in trying to frame out the XY daily chart. It's been giving too many surprises. So as a trader, you have to accept things like this. There's just something happening that you just don't know about, and the technicals are not clear. It's easy to just go with the crowd and say DXY is bullish and going every day and trying to look for higher prices. But I don't feel comfortable just doing that. It has to be clear or the trade is not worth taking for me. And right now, no time frame makes sense for DXY. Everything just looks, oh my God, it did that in hindsight. Why didn't I see that? So I'm not about higher time frames anymore. At the moment, I like this momentum. We have one down day that took out 2 down days, and then we had that immediate retracement. So on a lower time frame, I don't have to look on a lower time frame. This is market liquidity taking, market structure dealing range, retracement. All of this. Just by looking at these 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, I can see or estimate what the lower time frame looks like, and I'll tell you why. Because we have this huge down day here, and it took out these highs, then it took out these daily lows. It means that this entire candle is a dealing range. Buy side taken, sell side taken at the lows, which means if we were watching this on any time frame, forget that it's a daily chart. If we were watching this order flow after the dealing range is created, we would automatically anticipate a retracement, right? So just for giggles, let's cement the idea. I'll just go M15, put period separators on, and we will see what I mean. If this was a daily high, this would be relatively equal highs. This would have been the lows right here, right? So we have inside day, market trades up, grabbers buy side, relatively equal lows. All of this trend line liquidity would be normal to consider. Here, market structure shift. This looks very familiar. I don't know why. Maybe I saw this chart yesterday. Market structure shift right here, retracement, then price tanks. The target on the downside would be these lows, logically, right? So now that we have buy side and sell side taken, the model would be to fib the dealing range and anticipate a retracement back to 50. But that's just one aspect. When we put the fib on, we don't just assume that 50 is enough. We look at 50, what's there? This right here is a price signature that I generally refer to this as a wall because it's not a imbalance. And if you take a look at where the order block is right here, all the candles coming down after this are overlapping. No FEGs, all the wicks and tails are overlapping, right? So whenever I see that, I assume that this is balanced, and I approach my plans like this is balanced, so we should reject project order block low, look over here if we have anything to work with for extra confluence, and that would have been that. Right, engineered efficiency. So that's what I mean when I said when I look at the daily chart, I can see what the lower time frame looks like. Similarly, if we understand that, if we saw this, we'd be able to get an idea of what higher time frame look like. So let's just take this off and continue. But the XY lower looks like we could have maybe a few days of it. We could have a few days of DXY lows or DXY bearishness. And I think that's enough for DXY for you to look at from a 15-minute chart, frame out what you don't want to see to invalidate the idea of going bearish. But I'll leave that for you. NAS. So I was looking at NAS last night on a one-on-one call. And the idea was that this large day is potentially going to kick off purge and revert ideas. And it's similar to DXY now. So if you look at DXY, that huge down day, if this is the day that took liquidity, then this is the event day. So once price trades down through yesterday's low on DXY, we don't want to see price closing above yesterday's low after it trades down there. Didn't say close below. Once it trades below, we don't want to see it closing above. It should just small retracements and then keep going low. Same thing for this guy. At the moment, I'm only going to be trading intraday liquidity, but this day, this large day, should hold some significance going forward. If we take the high, then retracements and higher, fine, because this sets up this day again as the event day that takes liquidity. So based on purge and revert logic, once we trade through the high, we start. Blah, blah, blah. Once we take the high, the next day or afterwards, we start looking for price shallow retracements and then push. If we're expecting shallow retracements, then this kind of price action sets up Asian or London low of the day, and then New York continues. If this is efficiently traded. So if there's no reason for price to go lower, and this is the event day, if we trade through, so let's say this day closes bearish, today's what, Thursday, and Friday expands and takes this high right here, then Monday would make sense to be a shallow retracement day and then continue pushing. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. The general is in the chat. Options king. So price have to take the high of the event day first before anticipate retracement after further. Yeah, based on the purge and revert logic on YouTube, you remain biasless until price takes the high. So right now, we would be looking at this on a lower time frame, 15-minute chart, looking for imbalances that prices retracing to. And same idea, dealing range logic, grab the fib, get crazy. When we consider price efficiently traded and no need to come back to it, if there are no imbalances in the delivery. So I like when it starts on a bullish side. So this expansion higher, inside here, imbalance, right? When price comes down and fills that imbalance, we want to see what it does after filling the imbalance. Okay, so it fills that, keeps going lower, perfectly fine. If it fills that, rejects, then we start looking at quote unquote support ideas, right? So yeah. So this is now the second chart we've looked at, and both suggest weak DXY for today going into next week. All right. So then that alone is leaning me towards DXY weakness and bullish for all the pairs that should be bullish if DXY is weak, AU included. This guy I'm not touching because, like I said some time ago, there's some kind of weird correlation happening right now. When this was dying, when DXY was well in here. I'm just not interested in GJ, so I'm not going to waste your time with that or minds. Weak DXY, bullish gold. I like that idea. Now, zoom in on this price action. This is an imbalance on a daily chart. We've already closed above that imbalance. So if we're bullish, if we're bearish DXY, we want to see higher prices, and the imbalance is already filled here, when price trades above it, this retracement should set up more higher prices. And again, just look at the structure on all these charts. They're all mimicking that. They're all mimicking the same thing that we talked about. So no need to go into deep explanation. Just gonna hop to M15 real quickly. Correlation crack. So SMT guys should come alive here. I'm not an SMT fan, but take a look at what I mean. Look at this, where's EU? I look at EU to compare. And feel free to explain in the group what you think about that SMT. Not a fan. So here it is, right? All of the fractals that we've looked at had the down days, then the event day sweeping the lows and then pushing higher, creating our dealing range. GU, the anomaly, which is why I don't like this pair. So no, it opens the door for too many things here. And because there's no obvious price action here, you're forced to look out, zoom out higher time frame, see what this traded into. Do we have higher time frame accumulation at the liquidity pool? If not, then we stay chilling. But for right now, the most obvious thing is this imbalance right here. That price could be reaching for. But all of this leg just looks poor, like poorly delivered, very inefficient, which means we could get deep retracements going into next week. 5 minutes till Fed speaks. Okay, let's see if I can be on a lower time frame when that's happening. Same fractal here, same fractal there. UCAD, same fractal. See, highs almost exactly like DXY. There's a retracement and then push. I thought all of this above here was going to be stop hunting, and I'm not convinced that anything here is one-sided. Imbalance, refilled, no volume being committed above this high right here. That's worth noting. So we're technically not expanding outside this range. It's just sweeping both sides of it. So one big miss right now. And Nicholas Silva.
That's my good friend.
No, it looks very nice. Very, very nice. I have no idea why we had this box right here. But what I'm seeing off the bat is the liquidity here being swept. This guy, we know what this is. Shift, market structure shift, dealing range, order block. Perfect. Almost perfect, right? It's looking good. Yeah, nothing more to talk about here. I think we did something on lower time frames, and that's why these are here. But after the M15, and let's see if we can find a setup. Found this really cool feature yesterday. I think if I do this, no, I think I have to click on this one. So if you have multiple charts like this, and you click on the first one, it puts the first one here. And let's say I want this to stay, I'll just click on this. And whenever I click on a different chart, this will stay. Or is it all the way around? Maybe it's all the way around, my bad. But whenever I click on a different chart, one will stay and then I'll be able to compare. against other stuff. So thought that was cool. Just jump right into M15. Previous days, high and low right here. What do we have? This is the last time price broke market structure. So we'd be looking at that high and the candle that closed above it. Here, imbalance, very small imbalance. Imbalance filled, price took liquidity here. Where's the candle that closed below? You know what I'm gonna do already. The speaker is speaking now. If you caught that, then I don't need to explain it. Okay, cool. This would have given 30 point. Did it happen after 1500 this broker time? Yep, so that would have been a trade. So if you caught that, kudos. All right, now same idea here. This is the high, this is the candle that closed above. We had a very deep retracement. So let's zoom out a little bit and shift our focus to the imbalance that's just below right here. This is where we are right now. This is the low. We just took that low right there. And where's the candle that took the low? Let's go. No candle close below here. So allow for this guy to move first. Why do we have to consider that candle that closed above? It's logic behind that candle. Not sure what you're asking. Not sure if it's even on NAS. Okay, so we have quite a few things happening inside here. We don't have an order block trading below here, but this candle's opening price is my model. So let's put that there. Let's take these off since we already understand what they mean, or at least pull them over. Right there. So before we start committing to, oh, that's an entry pattern, where's the draw on liquidity? An entry pattern only makes sense if it sets up a run to an obvious draw on liquidity. You don't want to click along right here and then price screams. The up candle. It's a part of my model. That's what it is. It's a, can you post pics in Zoom chat? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but yeah, we're expecting this to trade lower and close as a down candle. So 945. If this is a down candle, then I'd like that idea. The price going above it, and then that being the order block. What is this magic? I have no idea what that is. USD CAD. Same idea here. This would just be flipped for NAS. So this pair is usually doing the opposite of what this is doing. Find imbalance from here. And this should pop out. Okay. Here's the imbalance right there. I was speaking to somebody yesterday about this imbalance. If you're on the call, wait. Betsy. Yep, Betsy, if you watch this imbalance fits the description of an imbalance that needs to get filled in completely. And it could trade all the way back to the closing price of this candle here. There you go. As 50%. Yeah, roughly. I didn't check. Because it would take the videos too long. So I tell you what to look for and trust that when you're marking your own charts, you'll Let's take a look at it. Almighty push. Is UCAD moving higher first? And should UCAD move higher and why? Highs, candle. Ideally, this is the type of imbalance that price should trade up to and then not completely fill and then move low. So let's see if UCAD does that to facilitate NAS going low to create that down candle we want. And then we could start get fancy. Messy, extremely messy. But dealing range logic, I'm gonna move this high because it traded through this one as well. And dealing range there. Not interested in gold. Simple. Yeah, possible. That's could go lower for now, and that's fine because we want the down candles to create the order block. We're not trading patterns, we're waiting for the logic to form. This is not gotten to 50%. There is an imbalance there. I'm gonna highlight the imbalance in a sec. EU previous days high, EU in a sec. Here's the imbalance just at 50% on gold. Tags it. This, for me, this doesn't feel, well, let me check. Check that high. Candle close above here. That's the candle between the high and the closing price of the candle closed above it. Yeah, okay, it's valid, but even though it's valid, I don't like it for a trade. So if it's a trade, it's a trade. Just means that I won't be trading that. Maybe if it drops low, I'd like going long here. That's a kind of imbalance that I've, quote, air quotes, deduced from my back testing. Let's leave it right there for now. EU. Someone was asking if EU could take previous days high. When it's right here already, I don't know how to feel. What I see though is this. Look at that. $60 pips. So at this point, these shouldn't be surprising anybody when they form. Shouldn't even need me to point them out. You know exactly what you need to see them form. So you should be fine. That's not the word I would use. And then GU. GU. Okay, we have the lows of liquidity here. This looks like it could trade lower. Quite a few reasons off the bat, just looking. I see this and I see that we haven't gotten to 50% of the dealing range. That's the first thing. Second thing I saw immediately is that that low was taken by this candle here. And as a rule of thumb, all right, as a rule of thumb, whenever we have displacement through a high like this, then lows are formed above right there. Makes this, for my model, engineered liquidity. So if I can find where this guy is being drawn to right now, I'd like the idea of going short. No signal. This is what we want. Unless you want to buy this right now, which I don't recommend. But see why you trust the rules of your model. Remember why we didn't think that this is going to be long right now, and why this needed to be a down candle. And it feels really good watching it form, right? Nice. Would it take previous days low? You can. I'd be looking for, yeah, previous days lows to be taken. But look at this is what I love now. Now, remember, UCAD and NAS usually go opposite to each other. UCAD has an imbalance here. Let's put it here. Let's say that's a level that UCAD needs to trade to. It's trading there slowly, and NAS is moving lower faster, which means off the bat, when UCAD gets here, I don't want to see them stall. This candle closes bullish. This gets to wherever it's being drawn to right now. My guess would be OTE. And then we have shorts and longs. But nothing to do right here for me at the moment. So it's a waiting game. And then this is way too similar to repeat. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now, since we're all, well, let me not say, since we're talking about the same model, instead of me saying we're using the same model, because I know you add your own confluence. Since we're all talking about the model here, very nice shorts. This is a different fractal, but would you feel bad if you missed all of that short and then price traded down and gave you your entry? Would you feel bad if you misinterpreted something here and you got stopped out? Why didn't I trade US 30? I didn't say I don't trade US 30. I have traded US 30. I really don't need anything more than that. I think. This little range right here should be an interesting one. Yep, more upside. Yeah, NAS is all we need. Why is everything not moving? Look at this. If DXY is so bullish that NAS has to move this far, why is nothing else moving? Why is this not overwhelmingly bullish? Why is this not falling out of bed? Why is this not falling? Why is that not falling? Yeah, not necessary. Next M15 candle close above bearish candle. Your model forming right. So my model is do nothing until price gets back above this. Really, that's what it is. But in that logic, it's if you identify the draw as this OTE right here, logically it makes sense for you to try to grab that. But let's put some time into perspective. That's 10 o'clock right there, 1700. This starts what? Oh, probably a very bad question. London lunch starts here, profit taking all, which means if I was doing time and price studies, I'd put that box between 10 and 11:30. So that's the price without lies, that's the time, and this is the price. And I'd want to see if we have willingness to not close below here in this window of time. 4-hour cycle. No, not the 4-hour cycle. 4-hour cycle is 915 or 4-hour stuff, 915. Yep, if I was short this guy, this would be my downside target. So now we wait. Now we wait. Don't need this anymore. So now the analysis portion of your quote unquote trading day would be done. No entries, no money lost. We vibe. Call ends in 8 minutes. Yeah, nothing to do. I like this opening imbalance right here. We created an imbalance here. Let's go candle high. Trade it through. Coming back up should offer quote unquote resistance ideas. That's not my theory, by the way. Gold. I already mentioned I don't like the fact that gold is, the low is created above 50%. It doesn't matter what this looks like. I don't like that being above 50%. So I'm thinking gold needs to trade back lower. But I'm just interested in this guy right here. All right, so what would be really interesting and have me trading long before is firstly the 945 M15 candle close bearish. Hashtag pop my own color. A bit tough for you to end zoom without going to M1. Nah. Nah, I'm fine. If this candle closes inside here, let's play devil's advocate. This is not something that I expect anybody to try to replicate, by the way. Right? Let's just say that. If this candle closes inside this area here, then I want to see the next down candle, the next up candle, wick down inside here, maybe at the start of this time, and then we start pushing higher and taking this low and going higher. So again, I'm playing devil's advocate. Please do not try to trade this. I'm going to look for this fractal to form. That. And then I want a up candle like that. And then I want the next one to do this. That. Yeah, something like that. So I want this, if this closes as an up candle inside here, and this is how I want the next up candle to form. I'm specifically pulling the low of this up candle right here. Just so we're clear. That's what I want to see. And then I'll potentially think about going long before we trade above this. But until then, no money lost, no stop loss taken, waiting for the entry to form. Who is Ramirez? Frank. I have no idea who that is. I have no idea what this guy is talking about, you know. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. I don't need why. The more confirmation points you have, the more likely it is to make a decision. Can you imagine if I had something, let me not throw any shade on anyone. I think I deleted them. Did I? No, it's oscillators. RSI. It's most popular RSI settings. Foot. 14 a lot. Imagine if I had this on. What would this be telling me? I don't know. I really don't know. This long right here is not oversold. I guess this is overbought, I guess. And then I don't know. Yeah, time to end the Zoom. Time to end the Zoom. All right, so what I'm looking for is now pretty clear. Inside this window of time is where I'm expecting the low to form if this is going to be bullish. But ideally, maybe we get a PM session entry at that price, right? But no entry, no money lost. Divergence. Just playing around. All right, so analysis is done. We'll end the call here. Any questions we could talk in the group. Have yourself a great day, guys.